Hello and welcome back to Rex the Rabbit. Now look, if you think I'm just reviewing this game because the main antagonist looks like Joe the Duck, you are absolutely right, go get yourself a cookie. But seriously, I like this game, and this is potentially the start of a trilogy. What is this said game? The Forgotten Nights at Mike's Revival. That's a mouthful. But now for some backstory. The Forgotten Nights at Mike's is a collaboration between Aran Dev and Fernando Vasquez. Yeah, I'm sorry, Fernando. Apparently, this game was going to be a revival of a game Fernando was gonna make, but never ended up making it for unknown reasons. But with the help of Aran, the two decided to revive the game, and that brings us up to today. But without further ado, let's dive into the Forgotten Nights at Mike's. Starting the game, we get a cutscene showing a living room, and two people are talking to each other. These two are Barry and Aura. Aura. The two are arguing about what happened to their daughter, which I'll get into later. And then it transitions to a few days later. The two are falling behind on bills and don't have enough money for food. So Barry decides to look at the newspaper and he sees that there is a place called Hank's Warehouse. The place apparently needs a night guard and an assistant. Barry decides to take the job, and then we spawn into night 1. We then spawn in the office that has 2 doorways and a hallway. We can even light up the hallway with the flashlight. There's also a locker we can hide in. We can also hold our breath while we're in the locker by pressing shift. On the cameras, there's this button on the bottom left that says jammer, but that's for later. We get a phone call from Barry, which I thought we were Barry, but okay. Barry just tells us that the animatronics here are going to be put on auction at the end of the week. He also tells us to hide in the locker if any animatronics come into the office. On this night, there's only 2 threats, Gabriel the crocodile and Victor the rat. Gabriel has a fun design, I actually really like it, while Victor here is probably the worst design, honestly. He honestly just looks very boring. Nothing stands out about him, and he is the most forgettable out of the cast. Anyway, Gabriel starts on cam 1 and Victor starts on cam 3. Gabriel will go to the right doorway and Victor to the left. Once we see them there, we must hide in the locker till they come to the office. Once inside, they will walk across the room and go back to their starting locations. The two are also able to come to the office at the same time. Moving on to night 2, it adds Robert and Roberta the clown, who are just recolors of each other, not too exciting, but I think they have some of the strongest designs in the game, with Gabriel probably being the best. These two both start on cam 2, and will advance their way towards our office. If they get there, we will die. To stop them, we must use the jammer to send them back. The jammer does have a cooldown when using it, so it's better to use it on the one that's closest to the office. I do want to point out that this mechanic was taken from Fazbear's Return 5, which I obviously don't have a problem with. It's okay, I just wanted to talk about it. And also, an interesting detail about the clowns is that they come from a different location and were just brought alongside the other animatronics, which is a very neat idea. Anyway, moving on to night 3, it adds Lisa the Fox, whose design is at least more colorful than Victor's, but she actually has an interesting mechanic that makes her more memorable. Lisa starts in cam 5 and will go through a few stages till she attacks. Lisa has 2 ways of attacking. Her first attack happens when she leaves the camera. She will be in the hallway. We must turn on the light to make her go away. Her second attack, she will come into the office twitching. We must stay still till she leaves. Night 4, the phone guy seems a little strange. He starts the phone call off with a sigh and explains what Mike the Duck does. And at the end, he seems sad.
That's all. Tomorrow will be your last shift, and you'll receive your pay. Good night. I can take your time.
This night obviously adds Mike the Duck. He starts on cam 1, and every time he moves a cam, he makes a distinct sound cue. He will head for the hallway, and once he's there, we must hide in the locker. He will come into the office and be right in front of the locker. We must hold our breath till he leaves. For night 5, the phone guy calls us again and just tells us the animatronics are more aggressive. But then this happens.
Cindy's my wife, Laura. I love her very much. We'll see. Let's all the afterlife. And I hope to see you again. Soon, Claire. And I'm sorry.
After beating this night, we get our paycheck and figure out we play as Jimmy Anderson. Before moving on to anything else, I have to point out that in the jump scares in the extras, Mike's jump scare doesn't stop, it just keeps going. Which I highly believe is a reference to how in the Joe's remake, Joe's jump scare also doesn't stop in the extras. Also, the music sounds pretty similar to the Joe's extras music. Again, I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, for custom night, there are 5 pre-made challenges. Mike's Bread Funhouse, Twin Clowns, The Boys, The Most Effective, and Max Mode. After beating Max Mode, we get a newspaper talking about how the animatronics were auctioned off. But after that, we get a minigame. The minigame starts with a woman standing over a grave. This woman is Aura from the opening cutscene. She expresses her guilt, blaming herself, calling herself a bad mother, and asking for forgiveness from her husband Barry and her daughter Laura. After that, we get the credits and a star. We're actually not done yet, since there are some secret death minigames. Aron said that there were 3 death minigames, but I kept getting the same one multiple times, so I'm only going over the 2 I got. The first one starts with us playing as this girl in a red shirt. We can walk over to this restricted area, and then this happens. The second minigame starts with us playing as Gabriel. We go over to the next room and find this button on the ground. We can press it and make a stairway up to the exit. We can climb it and go through the exit. But there isn't an alternative path we can take. By going onto this platform to the right, we can walk through the wall and find this thing. Going over to it, the minigame ends. I actually brightened up the sprite to see what it was, and it turns out it's a Mike sprite, but he's purple. Now, for a story overview, I do need to say something. This game is planning on being a trilogy, so there is more to the story. But for the story of this game, it begins with a girl named Laura. Laura and her parents go to this place, not really specified, but there, she wanders off into a restricted area and is shot. Most likely, there was something someone wanted to keep a secret that they were willing to kill a child over it. After that, her parents, Barry and Aura, are mourning their daughter and start struggling financially. Hoping to get back on their feet, Barry takes a job to help be a guide for the night guard. In night 5, Barry kills himself, presumably still grieving over Laura's death, and Aura is left alone. No family, no friends, just her. Now, like I said at the start, this might be a whole game series, since there is more to the story. But as of now, this is the only thing I can make from this game. Now, what do I think of the game? I think it's pretty alright. It's a very medium difficulty game, but it's still fun. I do feel like Mike should have had a more unique mechanic, since he's the main man of the game. And no, him just having it to where you have to hold down your breath isn't good enough. It's just a locker mechanic with one extra step. He kind of falls into the category of the main antagonist in a fan game not having a compelling mechanic. Now look, it is your game, do what you want with it. It's just a personal pet peeve of mine. Anyway, that's it for today. I've been your host Rex the Rabbit, and I'll see you later. Bye!